Becoming a narcissist repellent. How to rid yourself of those toxic, annoying little critters that just seem to keep crawling back into your life when you have just started to recover and get on with your life. How to get it so that narcissistic people leave you alone. Now, with many narcissistic people, they like a challenge, and as soon as you give in, they are in there like a shot. So one of the first things is never, ever give in to a narcissist. Make sure they become so bored of you that they lose all interest in you. Educate yourself on their behaviour. Learn their personality characteristics, how they behave. Learn the patterns of behaviour. Learn the games that they display, such as gaslighting and silent treatments and isolation. Get to know people for who they are and not who they sell themselves to be, so you don't fall for their behaviour again. Understanding their characteristics is crucial into recognising certain patterns of behaviour. Limit your exposure. When you are around negative, toxic people, limit your exposure to them. When you're around those who have that charismatic charm, limit your time around them and get to know them for who they are and not who they are selling themselves to be. Limit your contact with these kinds of people to protect your psychological, your mental, your emotional and your physical well-being. Limit your exposure, not only to protect yourself, but the more you limit your exposure to a narcissist, the more something else catches the narcissist's eye, because you're not in their zone, so they begin to lose interest within you. You'll often notice with a lot of narcissistic people, unless they're hell-bent on revenge and they're envious of you, they will be thinking of you. However, if you get out of their way and they see something else, they stop thinking about you unless they want to get you back. Learn to have that self-empathy. We are often taught to treat others how we would like to be treated. We are not taught to treat ourselves how we would like to be treated. We often class that as being selfish. Self-care is not selfish. Selfish is when, by doing something to serve yourself, it has a negative impact on another person. Narcissistic people use this to their advantage. This is why they go all out to guilt you. So when you place a boundary, say you're going to go and see your friends, and the narcissist suddenly goes, oh, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to be home all on my own and I had these plans. So you feel bad for them. So you drop your friends who have the understanding and stay around for the narcissist who lacks the empathy. So they twist it to make out that you're being selfish when they are being the selfish one, because they don't care about you and your friendship circles. They care about getting their needs met by you. So it's you that's suffering while they get what they want. So start learning how to have that self-empathy in a healthy way, and learning when people, by learning their behaviours and their games, learning when people are going to exploit your emotions so that it benefits themselves and hinders you, and no longer give in to them. Recognise that it's not being done to harm them. It shouldn't necessarily harm them. You should be allowed to go and see your friends and family. Enhance your emotional intelligence. Recognise their behaviour and understand the perfectly normal, valid emotional reaction that's going to come within you, and no longer explain it to them. When you're willing to be open and to be vulnerable with other people, it's effortless that when somebody upsets you, for you to go and say, hey, you said this and it made me feel like this. And a genuine person is going to be, I'm glad you came. I didn't actually mean to upset you. This is what I meant. And you can sort of work on it and they do not repeat it. With a narcissistic person, they're going to get defensive. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to accuse you of being too sensitive. You can come across naturally flirtatious people, and if there's nothing to worry about, you're not necessarily going to feel any sort of jealousy. You're just going to be flirtatious. It's who they are. It's what they do. They've never acted on it. It's nothing to worry about. You might get that little pang through previous experience, which is driving that emotional reaction within you. So you might go to speak to someone. With a genuine person, they're going to reassure you. Make sure you know that it's who they are and they don't mean anything. And they're going to make you feel safe and secure within the relationship. With a narcissistic person, they're going to, oh, someone jealous. Good. And they're going to accuse you of having the issues and having the problems. And when they go all out to frustrate you, when you naturally react to them, they accuse you of being the crazy one, and they enjoy that reaction. So learn your emotions and what they are telling you, and how being around certain people triggers certain emotions within you, why those emotions are triggered, whether it's a genuine person and it's you, or whether it's a narcissistic person who's trying to gain that emotional reaction from within you. And remember, if someone brings the worst out in you, it's not the kind of person you want to be around, and you need to limit your exposure to those people, recognize their games so that you no longer react in that negative way to them. Build your self-confidence to build your self-worth. Mistakes are going to be made in life. To fail is our first attempt in learning. So when we see something that we would like to do, recognize that we might, even if we've got a natural talent for it, we might come to a point where we become unstuck. We might need a break from it. We might need to keep going. We're all individuals. Some people, maths. Some people excel at maths, yet they still have to learn how to do it. When they've not done it before, it might come easy to them. And even when it comes easy to them, when they come across a problem where they can't find the solution, they might want to throw things. They might need to take a break, or they might just need to sit there and everyone leave them alone while they figure it out. We're individuals, so we have to work out what works for us in this situation. And the confidence comes, the confidence grows the more we do, the more we learn, the more we improve our ability in something. Narcissistic people are arrogant. They lack the information, they lack the ability, they lack the willingness to admit that they are wrong. They have to always be right and put other people down. Practice assertiveness. It's uncomfortable having conversations with people you don't want to have, especially when you've been around a narcissist where they have made your life miserable every time you try to have a conversation with them. Your body becomes programmed into whenever you try to talk to somebody, X, Y, and Z happens, and then you feel in a certain way. So you then go all out to avoid those kinds of situations. However, having those difficult conversations with people early on, you can begin to recognize whether you can have those difficult conversations with this person, or whether they're going to gaslight you, whether they're going to get defensive and blame it all on you. And if they do get defensive, we can all get defensive, whether you can then communicate and find the middle ground, or whether they're going to fail to take any form of responsibility and pin all the blame on you. And those kinds of people refuse to engage. Have those strong boundaries. The best boundaries when it comes to narcissistic people is emotional, psychological, and physical distance. When you place a boundary, don't let anyone manipulate you into thinking that there is something wrong with your value and belief. Recognize that they're unwilling to respect your value and belief, even if they don't believe in it within themselves. There's plenty of things you can believe in that other people don't believe in. Doesn't necessarily make you right, doesn't necessarily make them wrong. Let them live how they want to live, and you live how you want to live. Narcissistic people are going to force how they live on you because they believe it should only be their way, and anything against this is wrong. Call them out. Call them out early on. Narcissistic people fear exposure. So when they're exaggerating something, ask them for more information and see whether they can actually provide that information, or whether they just turn arrogant or lie or exaggerate some more. Call them out very early on. Narcissistic people fear exposure. So when they're lying to you and you call them out, they're going to be more likely to leave you alone early on in the relationship, rather than once you've got to that point where you call them out and then you fear calling them out because of the reactions you've received. This only works early on in the relationship. Anything that helps you repel narcissistic people, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot get no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People, and a Narcissist Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, if you'd like to go and check those out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.